Joining me now is Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan, chair of the House Judiciary Committee. I would love to see this attitude brought into any place in the private sector. And by the way, these people are not getting paid minimum salary. We're talking about the average federal worker's annual salary and benefits is $144,000, and they're objecting to being asked just 5 little things that they may have done last week. Are you kidding me?
How dare the President of the United States tell people to come back and work in person and tell us what you do? I mean, that's all this is. And yet, oh my goodness, you would think this is something that you can never do. How dare they ask that? This is how out of touch. I think you had someone on earlier. This is how out of touch this town is with the common sense of regular Americans across this great country. And when I talk with folks, they're fired up about. They like what President Trump and Elon Musk are doing. They like the fact that there's a focus on you work for the taxpayer. And if you're not working for the taxpayer, if you're not showing up to work, if you think you can work remote and not tell us what you do all week, that's not going to fly any longer. God bless these guys for doing what they're doing.
You know, and again, in the private sector, I was just talking to Martha McCallum about it. In the private sector, you ask somebody what they're doing. A boss comes by, asks, an employee would love to tell you all that he's doing. He loves to be a little, not just for bragging rights, but to get a pat on the back, to be appreciated. In the bureaucracy, it's not about what you do, it's how you can avoid doing anything at all. I mean, that is the nature. I understand. I'm going to get letters from all these federal employees saying what we do is so important. I understand there are people who really do work their heart, but there are a lot of people who don't. And if they can't name 5 damn things that they do for us, from little things from last week, I don't think they should be here. Do you?
You can name 5 things you've done today. I mean, I met with a member of the European Parliament today. I met with our personal staff. What's going on in our district? I met with our committee staff. We got 4 hearings this week. I mean, you can just got done with a meeting with the chairman, Republican chairman in the House of Representatives. You can go through. There's all these kind of things that you're involved in. If you can't name what you're doing, maybe it's because you're not doing much and not really serving the taxpayers like you're supposed to.
Well, whether they like it or not, Elon Musk and Doge are saving taxpayers billions of dollars already, and they're going to continue to do so. We're going to talk about the court battles to stop them from doing that in a moment. But there are certain people, you know, there's this idea that if he gets the $2 trillion in savings, we should cut a $5,000 check to every taxpayer in the United States, which seems, at first I was kind of wobbling about maybe it should go to pay down to debt, but no. Americans deserve to get payback right now. That's what they need. They want $5,000. But here's what, and I'm sure you've seen this clip.
It's their money.
I want to just play a clip.
It's their money.
Congresswoman Crockett came out with one of the most outrageous things I've ever seen. I'm going to play that and get your reaction. Roll it.
We are not in the business of giving out money. And honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you if you are unable to find a job, because I am telling people we are headed towards a recession.
First of all, it ain't your money, Congresswoman. Exactly. It's our money, and we should be able to decide how it goes to good use. And frankly, it would be a lot of good use in people's pockets. Secondly, it just shows, like you said, how out of touch they were. $5,000 is a lot of dollars to the average American. Maybe not to somebody who's making her salary and benefits and perhaps trading stocks on the side, but for the average American, it's a lot of money. Go ahead.
No, I think you're exactly right. The money belongs to the people, the families of this great country. It's their money. It's not the government's money. That's the biggest difference between conservatives and the left is the left thinks government has all the control. The bureaucrats should run everything, not the elected people, and we control the money. It's our money. No. It belongs to the families and the taxpayers of this great country. And if we can give it back to them, I'm for doing both. If we achieve this savings that we're setting out to do, $2 trillion as Elon has talked about as a target, give some of it back to the people, it's their money, and then we do have this deficit problem we run every year and this huge debt that's piling up. Let's use some of it for that. But certainly give some money back to the American people. After all, it's their money.
Now, Congressman, all of these lawsuits, I tell you, they look for all the world to me like the lawfare that we saw in months and years past against Donald Trump and other efforts by the American people to get what they want, to get what they voted for. Is that the way it looks like to you? Because it looks like lawfare to me and a lot of other people.
No, No, this is the left. I mean, I say the left and the Democrats, instead of helping us stop the stupid spending that's going on that Elon Musk has shown, they go after the guy who's exposing the stupid spending. I think we should work on just stopping the stupid spending. So no, they want it to continue. Most of the left, lives off of big government, whether it's some organization getting a grant from them or whether it's just the bureaucracy itself. So they're going to oppose this. I say applaud the guy who's exposing the stupid spending. They say, the left says, no, we're going to attack the guy exposing all the crazy things their monies are going to. That's the problem. But we have to stand strong and help make sure this happens. What he's identified, we have to make sure that no longer happens as we move forward in the appropriations process.
One of the arguments, and we hear it echoed in the media echo chamber by a lot of media elites, is that Elon Musk has not been, first of all, he doesn't have to be confirmed, but he's an outsider, and outsiders shouldn't be allowed to do the work that he's doing, gain access to the files, to the money trails, et cetera. The last president was essentially run by senior advisors who were never confirmed and never voted on. Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, it's terribly hypocritical to suggest that, but I don't think that's going to hold any water with the Supreme Court. Do you?
No, I mean, look, this is, again, as a fundamental difference. President Trump put his name on a ballot when he ran for the position of President of the United States to head the executive branch. Article 2, Section 1, first sentence, power in the executive branch is vested in a president. He put his name on the ballot. He got elected. During the campaign, he said he was going to create this DOJ department. Elon Musk was going to run it. It was clear what was going to happen. And we, the people, 77 million of us, said we want that model. It's consistent with Article 2 of our Constitution. And now that he's implementing it, the people on the left who think Dr. Fauci and all the unelected people are smarter than the rest of us, that they should have the power, which is not according to the Constitution, they're all mad. That's the fundamental fight. I'm actually with the guy, we the people, put in charge, not with the bureaucrats who think they're smarter than David Asman and Jim Jordan and all your viewers. That is BS. So that is the fundamental fight, and we have got to win this if we're going to protect freedom and liberty moving forward.
Right on. I agree with you on that. Let me quickly talk about the Senate bill that they're coming on their own with, and frankly, that you guys in the House are doing what the president wants. One big beautiful bill. Putting that together, which includes the tax extensions. And again, if they are not extended before the December 31st of this year, we will have one of the biggest tax increases in history, which means you guys will lose control of the House, the senators will lose control of the Senate, and the president will be a lame duck for his last 2 years. So you don't want that to happen. Senator Johnson came out with an idea, because their bill, the Senate bill, is all about spending. It's not about tax decreases. It's not about keeping taxes low. It's about spending more money. Here's what Senator Johnson said about what the Senate should be doing. Listen.
I'd be happy to just extend the current tax code to make sure we take a massive automatic tax increase off the table, and then start working on what is far more complex, no tax on tips, those types of things. That's just a far more complex package to put together.
So why doesn't the Senate at least do that? Just extend the current tax code that way, and maybe later on you can put in what the president wants to add in, the no tax for tips, all the other things. But just make sure that the deadline doesn't pass and we get this huge tax increase.
No, look, I'm for one bill, two bills, three bills, whatever. I'm for what Senator Johnson is a smart guy, good friend, and I think an outstanding senator. If that concept and that plan works, I'm for that too. I'm just for getting, doing what we told the voters we were going to do, doing what they elected us to do. What I do know is what the budget resolution that's coming out of the House Budget Committee and slated to be voted on tomorrow, it cuts taxes, it cuts spending, it helps national defense, and it secures the border. Sounds like we're being Republicans. It sounds like we're doing exactly what we said.
Well, why doesn't the Senate get it, Congressman?
Well, because they don't know that if we can get the votes for that, and frankly, we're still working on that in the House. And so if we can't get the votes for that, then you kind of got to break it up. Senator Johnson's plan, I think, would be just fine, too. But what we got to do is what we told the voters we were going to do. That's what President Trump's doing. That's what Elon Musk is doing. Let's make sure the House and the Senate do the same.
Very quickly, I'm way over time here, but could the blue state Republicans, the ones who want to see the cap lifted on the state and local taxes, the SALT tax deductions, they want to see a big change in the tax system, would they be satisfied with just extending the tax cuts and then waiting for another bill eventually in year 2 or 3?
Yeah, and I think you've cut to the chase. It's a real question because I think in some ways they view it as leverage to get what they need for their constituents, some relief on the SALT issue. So again, that's why we focused on one bill where you can put all those different, competing in some cases positions together and come up with a bill that's consistent with what we told the voters we're going to do and good for the country.
Jim Jordan, you're the best. Thank you very much for being here, Jim. Appreciate it.
You bet.